So nonlinear equations are not going to be straight lines. They're going to be different kinds of lines. They're going to have usually some sort of curve to them. So there are many equations. Most of our equations are not straight lines, actually. Having straight lines is a little rare. So we need a little more points than just 3. So we're usually going to aim for like 5 points here. So when it was linear, we just needed 3 points to graph. Here, usually we're going to go for like 5 points. As you progress through this and we look at different kinds of equations and you know what their graphs are going to look like, you're going to be able to pick these points out a little easier. Sometimes you can get by with less points as well. So we want to graph y equals x squared minus 1, and we have that x is going to be 0, 1, -1, 2, and -2. Technically, you should write your x's in order from smallest to largest, but your book kind of ignores that. Okay, so let's see what happens here. So if x is 0, then y is going to be 0 squared minus 1, or -1. If x is equal to 1, then we're going to have y is equal to 1 squared minus 1, which is going to be 1 minus 1, which is 0. So we have 1, 0. If x is equal to -1, we are going to have y is equal to, so put parentheses, remember, because you're substituting in, put parentheses because that x is now being replaced with a -1. So it's the -1 gets squared minus 1, which is going to give me -1 times -1 is just 1 minus 1, and we get 0 again. So we have -1, 0. I think I can fit the 2's in here. I might put the 2's down here. This is equal to 2. Then y is going to be 2 squared minus 1, which is 4 minus 1, which is 3. So we have 2, 3. If you're familiar with quadratic equations, you might know what's going to happen here in the last one. When x is equal to -2, remember, it's this x that gets replaced with a -2. So it's the -2 that gets squared. So once again, we have 4 minus 1, and we're going to get 3. And what we're going to do is at this point, we're just going to connect these with the best align as we can. Let's basically connect the dots. Let me smooth that out, make that a little clearer because I didn't smooth out so well. To do with this pad, it's hard to get this side to look like the other side. But that is your general graph of x squared minus 1. Okay. So for you, you're going to try this again. So be careful with negatives. This negative is not part of the square. This is outside of it. So think of it as being like this instead. That it's negative, and then you're going to figure out that square root of x first, then deal with that negative. This is a common problem. I threw it in here. 6, so you have a cube. So remember, you're taking the number and you're cubing it, so it's going to be multiplied together 3 times. And then this one has an absolute value in it. So just pick your points. If you want to, you could just pick 0, 1, -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2, just like we did here. That's common points to pick, or you can pick something a little different. But take a moment and do those 3 problems. All right, so number 5, like I said, think of this being parentheses here. So x is -2, so y is going to be negative. And then we're going to have the sort of separate this out, we have a -2 that is being squared. So because this negative is on the outside, it's not part of the initial square root, but this -2 is what's getting squared. So the -2 gets squared and we get 4. So what it's going to turn into is it becomes a +4, but we still have that negative out there. So it goes back to being, we end up like start with a negative and we end up with a negative again. So we'll see that again, but we're going to do the -1. So x is -1. So y, this negative is on the outside, but we're going to take x, which is going to be -1 is what was replaced with squared. So it's -1, -1 squared is just 1. So -1 plus 2 is equal to 1. I'm not sure why I put a negative on my 0. If x is 0, this one's going to be way easier. We're going to have y is equal to -0 squared plus 2. So it's going to be 0 plus 2, which is 2. And off the other side, I'm going to do my remaining 2 points. I'll move something here so I can do that. If x is now 1, then we're going to have y is negative. The x is being replaced with 1 squared plus 2. So that's going to be -1 plus 2, or 1. And when x is going to be 2, we're going to have y is equal to the negative, and then it's the 2 that is being squared plus 2. So that's going to be -4 plus 2, or -2. Let's graph all my points here. This is going to be very similar to the example we have. It's just it's going to be upside down. So -2, -2, -1, 1, 0, 2. And then we have 1, 1, and 2, -2. Try to do that a little smoother, but we're trying to connect the dots because that's really hard to do with this drawing pad. There we go. And that is our graph. All right, we're going to move on to number 6. So I'm going to use those same points again. I'm going to use -2, -1, 0, 1, 2. So if you pick something outside of this, like a little bigger, you may have noticed you get points that you couldn't fit on the graph. Don't worry too much about that. That's going to happen. Just go back and you just pick a smaller point. This should be y here. Okay. So let me make my little area. Fill my equations into. So we're going to say, once again, that x is -2, -1, 0, 1, 2. To get here. So when x is -2, we're going to say that y would have to be parentheses -2 cubed. So we're replacing that x with a -2. So -2 times -2 times -2 is going to be a -8. So this is -8 minus 2, or -10. So -2, -10. If x is -1, then we're going to have y is equal to -1 cubed minus 2. So -1 times -1 times -1 is just going to leave me with -1. So this is -1 minus 2, or just -3 for y. If x is 0, then we're going to have y is equal to 0 cubed minus 2. 0 cubed is just 0. And we're just left with a negative 2. All right, so let's do the other 2 points. Oops, there we go. Trying to get my stuff to do what it should. So my last 2 points, x is equal to 1. So y will be 1 cubed minus 2, which is going to be 1 minus 2, which is negative 1. So this one's not working quite how the other ones did. So when we had the squared, you'd see we're getting those like same y values a couple times. This is not going to happen when you have a cube, though. We're going to get a different shape. So x squared, y 2 cubed minus 2. So 2 times 2 times 2. So it's not negatives, all positive. We just get 8 minus 2. So this one's just 6. So those points, negative 2, 10. Negative 1, negative 3. Oh, sorry, I had that wrong place. Negative 2, negative 10. Negative 1, negative 3. 0, negative 2. 1, negative 1. And 2, 6. Careful. Remember, always put arrows at the ends of your line because this line does keep on going forever and ever and ever. Okay, so that's what our graph looks like. So this is a basic shape of a cubic. The ones with opening up or open down looking like a dish, those are your basics of when you have an X. So we're kind of getting some basic graphs here. So we have one an x squared, an x cubed, and the next one is our absolute value. So we'll do a similar thing again. We're going to use our negative 1, negative 2, 0, 1, 2. Like I said, if you used other points, that's fine. I'm just using these ones because I know that they're going to work. They're going to fit on my graph. So if x is negative 2, then we have y is equal to absolute value, negative 2 plus 3. So that's going to be 2 plus 3, which is then 5. X is negative 1, then I'm going to have y is equal to absolute value, negative 1 plus 3, which is just going to be 1 plus 3, which is just going to be 4. If x is 0, then we're going to have y is equal to absolute value of 0 plus 3, which is just going to be 0 plus 3, which is just going to be 3. X is equal to 1 means we're going to have y is equal to absolute value of positive 1 plus 3, which is just going to be 1 plus 3, which is going to be 4. If x is 2, then we're going to have y is equal to absolute value of 2 plus 3, which is 2 plus 3, which is just 5. So we should see negative 2, 5, negative 1, 4, 0, 3, 1, 4, 2, 5. So this one's making a V shape. All right. So this will be, like I said, this is our last review session for a while because we're going to go into linear equations for a bit. Once we get past linear equations, we'll have another review part again. But like I said, at this point, we're going to start moving into what is considered your college level or 13, 14 material.